It's the SEGA of Swingin Report Show. Get ready for SEGA news and commentary with your hosts, George and Barry. Hello and welcome to the SEGA of Swingin Report Show. We're back, episode 48, and I'm Barry, and with me is George.
Hello.
And as usual, let's go around and say what we've been up to and what we've been playing. George, why don't you start?
I actually haven't been playing that many games. I mean, I've been chipping away at a Company of Heroes too, but besides of that, I've actually been kind of off on my gaming because I actually been away from the computer this whole week, kind of.
How do you do that?
I don't know how you do it. No, I went camping in the weekend. And literally, the last thing I wanted to do when I came home was, dude, we went camping for like 3 days. Okay? Mm-hmm. People don't tell you, like, camping, it sounds like a good idea at first. Like, on paper, you're like, oh, camping, so awesome. And then you actually get there, and it's like, oh, it's too fucking cold. It's too hot in the day. Oh, we're just going to drink all day? Really? This is what you guys wanted to do? Mm-hmm. But I went with a bunch of friends, and it was all right. It's just that I was the only one that brought blankets, and everybody decided that, oh, you know what? Maybe bringing blankets is not the best idea because it's hot.
Right.
So when you get up there, it's freaking cold as fuck. So I had to be stuck with one blanket because I had to share blankets because I'd be an asshole if I didn't. Can you imagine me with a big old pile of blankets just laughing at everybody?
You wake up and all your friends are dead.
And I'm just, I'm
frozen.
But I'm sweating. It's too hot. And then one of the days we went hiking, and they're like, yeah, it's 2 hours to hike, and I'm like, 2 miles, and I was like, 2 miles, psh, let's do it. So we got lost for 45 minutes, by the way, trying to find the trail.
Nice.
So. And then we finally found the trail and we went up and it was way longer than 2 miles. It was at least 4 miles, 3 miles minimum.
Oh my god.
And then so we're almost getting up there and I was like, dude, this is bullshit. And then they're all telling us that the only thing on top is a little lake, and I was like, this is bullshit. I only wanted to come hiking and I already hiked for fucking over 3 hours, so I think I'm good. And I went back down. Mm-hmm. And they're telling me it was bullshit anyway. They're just little fish, and the lake was too cold. But it was pretty fun, I guess.
Nice. I've been camping a lot when I was a kid, and I know how it is. You hear about it, and you're like, oh, it's going to be fun. And then when you get there, and you're like, I'm sweating all day. All you do is sit outside. There's nothing to do, really.
Yeah, we went pretty high up there, and it was like no cell phone. I couldn't even check Instagram. You're already disappointed? No Instagram.
Come on, man. Didn't you see Sonic?
How am I supposed to update the Twitter account?
I know, right? How do you do that? Oh, man.
I was trying to explain to them, like, I cannot update my stuff. How are people supposed to know I'm still alive?
Yeah, right.
So
you might not be.
Yeah, I know. I could have died up there. Well. But it was all right. So what have you been up to, and what have you been playing, Barry?
Oh, man. Well, playing-wise, I've been playing a lot of mobile stuff because I was traveling the last few weeks. Been playing... I intended to play a lot of Animal Crossing, but I'll be honest, I've been playing a lot of Project X Zone because that game's it's addicting because you play a little bit, and then you're like, okay, that chapter's done. But then you're like, oh, what characters are going to be in the next one? Then you play it. And then you're like, oh, it's Valkyria Chronicles 3. I got to stick around. And you keep playing it. And then it's like, oh, man, I beat that one. Might as well stick around for the next one. And so at this point, I'm at chapter 14, I think. And from what I've heard, Ulala shows up in chapter, I think, like 22 or 23. So
you're just chopping away until you get to Ulala.
Pretty much. She's my goal. Because I want to get her special move, which is the Space Harrier and the Alien Syndrome, and I think Opa Opa. Yeah, they all appear. So
nice.
It's pretty cool. But overall, I'm really loving the game. I mean, it lacks in some areas, but I got to question if I think that's actually a positive because, you know, there's no towns. It's not like you're spending money and sleeping and, like, you know,
Walking around, yeah, walking
Yeah,
around, getting into random fights or whatever.
it basically cuts the bullshit. You don't even, like I said in the last show, you don't even see the opposing side fight you unless it's like a super duper move, and those are rare. So, have you been playing it at all?
I have not actually. Like I told you, I've been away. And I didn't take the 3DS because.
Ah, right.
So
You
I don't
can't.
know. I don't want to take it to the mountains. I don't know. I
Yeah,
actually don't know. I just forgot about it. I think that I would have gotten shit from everybody. Like, yeah, we're all in the fucking wilderness, and you're over here bringing a 3DS.
it probably would die within a day.
Yeah, especially the
But
XL.
yeah, that's true. But oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like at first, I thought it would be really simplistic with the fighting, the mechanics. But you really have to time your attacks. It's almost like a rhythm game, and then you know you might pick up some kind of ideal move set that you do with nearby team members. So it's there's a lot more strategy involved than I thought there is. But yeah, so that's what I've been playing. And then as for what I've been up to, I went to California,
I've heard of that
and
place before. Isn't
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
isn't that where all the surfers and movie stars are from?
No, it's a bunch of hippies,
Okay, hippies and no movie stars then.
hippies and foreigners and Californians.
Did you meet Jackie Chan?
Yes, he kicked me.
Okay, nice. I like this already.
I called him a foreigner, and he kicked me.
How do you like California?
Good, good. We went to LA, and then we headed up the coast to San Francisco and visited a lot of spots. Went to the Redwood Forest in the Muir Woods. And what else did we do? We went on a studio tour of WB, and that was a lot of fun. We went on a lot of sets. I walked around on the Mentalist set and the Big Bang Theory set.
Big Bang
And
Theory. You like that show?
I don't like that show, but I like that I got to walk around the set.
It's funny because I probably should like that show most likely, but like I don't know. I just don't see the humor in it. I don't know.
It's I mean if you kind of like feel like you are one of those guys, then it is kind of I can't get into it because it's like the geek gags are so shoehorned in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And like to be honest, I don't get why they even need to be geeks. Like I sit around at work and I think it's just normal to talk about like the latest movies and stuff, you know? It's not like,
Exactly.
oh,
It's not
oh,
really.
did you see Batman? Hmm. You know?
And then they do the little, and then he has to say like long words like, and then it's just bullshit. Like they're like,
Yeah,
oh, this guy's smart, so he's like the Sherlock Holmes of comedy.
yeah, right.
So he's a nerd, obviously, but
Yeah,
Sherlock Holmes is a badass motherfucker, right? I mean,
exactly. Uh, and we went through the prop room. I was actually proud of myself. I spotted the skeleton helmets from Batman Returns. They appeared in the video game also. Do you remember those? Like the bad guys rode around on motorcycles.
yeah, it was when they had like
Yeah,
the outrageous costumes, right?
yeah, and they had three of the helmets just sitting up on this shelf, and it was like in this general prop area where any studio can come in and rent this stuff out. So it wasn't like a museum or anything. So
So
I
you
was
took
like,
them.
I well, no, but I'll bet that if you could prove you're like attached to a movie studio, you could like rent those out for a day and like ride around with them on your head. So
Just wear them, no clothes, butt naked.
yeah, that's my final wish. So yeah, and then I also went to this place called SEGA of America, but that's for the SEGA Bits news portion. So
I
we'll
never
touch on
heard
that
of that
then.
place, but I guess we could talk about it later.
Yeah, I think
I'm
they
more
made
I'm
like
more
Power
interested
Stone and
in
what's
shampoo threes.
Shampoo 3 and Power Stones. So
Yeah, well, I'm more interested in the Batman stuff, so I guess we could talk about Batman from now on. It's the
yeah,
Batman
Batman Bits.
podcast.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll mispronounce all the actors' names to infuriate the Batman fans.
Oh yes, Christopher
Like
Bells.
like Gorge Clowney.
Oh yeah, he's my favorite actor.
He is my favorite Batman.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite Batman for sure.
I like Rubin and Bateman and Jocker.
Oh yeah, those are good. I like. Bane was way better in obviously the older movies, the George Clooney ones, but
Let's actually do Sega Bits
all right.
news. Yeah, so Barry visits Sega of America. That's me. I went there. It was really cool. Basically, the way it started was I just reached out to the community managers, and since we interact with them so much with contests and uh,
All that good
obtaining
stuff.
review copies. Yeah, and we nervously sweat and shake their hands at events. So, well, I don't, but I intend to someday. I intend to be very, very nervous and talk about and like stutter and talk about Amy Rose and where Aaron Weber is and things like that. But
Of course.
but no, Julian was the one who hooked me up with a visit, and so I headed over there. We walked around the neighborhood. It's a nice little office area.
Wait, you guys
Um,
walked around the neighborhood together?
no, not Julian and I. My wife.
Oh, okay. Whew.
My wife. So, but it's a nice little area. They have like a Whole Foods right down the street. Like, I'll be honest, I want to work at Sega just so I can have a Whole Foods right down the street with a bar built into it.
Don't they always hire the most attractive women in those places too?
What, at Whole Foods?
Well, yeah, the one here they do at least.
Well, it's because they're healthy.
Yeah, of course. That and it's I like to go just to stare at them. And
That's
they're like,
true.
"Stop staring. Do you want a sandwich?" No, no, I don't have any money. I'm just here to stare at you, woman.
You know, you'd impress them if you bought a sandwich.
Maybe, maybe one
So,
day.
so I headed over, and I guess I mean I'm writing about it on the front page right now. But it was interesting. There's like this little lobby area with like numbers, and third floor is shipping and receiving. I'll be honest, I kind of wanted to check that out, but I didn't. Fourth floor is their offices. I think they have that whole floor, and they also share it with CRI, which I talked about in my article. And you know who they are, right?
Yes, they do the middleware things. Don't they do middleware for games, especially Dreamcast?
Yeah, yeah. But what I was trying to figure out, and what I didn't ask because I didn't read the sign until on my way out, was if Sega owns middleware, because it feels like they've only made Sega games.
Yeah, that's what it feels like too. Like they're the biggest customers.
Yeah, it's almost like maybe they're privately owned, but they only work with Sega, because I've never seen their names, their logos attached to any other games. Have you?
Not that I could think of. I mean, trying to remember, I can't think of any. It's
No.
weird. It's weird. That is kind of weird, actually. Now that you think about
I take those logos for granted. I'm like ADX, yeah, of course, a Sega game would have that. I don't know what it is, but it would have
it,
it.
whatever it is, Sega owns it, obviously.
Yeah, so that's something I want to figure out. But anyway, we headed upstairs, and elevator doors open to the nice lobby there, which I'm going to be writing about next week. Um, Lots of statues, Alien versus Predator, an old Sonic one, a new Sonic one. They had game hubs set up for Generations, a video wall with trailers playing for all the games coming out this year, two display cases with tons of little goodies and rarities. My favorite thing was probably a Vanquish statue and a 32X Virtua Fighter little like prize pack that had a T-shirt in it. I think those things were pretty rare. So
Damn,
uh,
you didn't steal anything. I'm
I didn't.
surprised.
Well, well, I went up to the front desk, and I was actually, while I was talking to the guy, I spotted that they had a big stack of visitor tags. So I did take one of those when I left. But I mean, if that did break any rules, to be fair, it's now sitting over here, all the way on the other side of the coast. So I think it's safe. But
Now they're gonna have to hunt you down.
I know, right?
Take it
Maybe
back.
I burned our bridges, but I had to have one. But yeah, we were sitting there waiting. Kelly actually was walking by, and I was like, Kelly. No, I didn't say it like that, but
It's
I said
me,
hi to her.
Mary. Just screaming from the other
Well,
side of
she
the.
was, yeah, she was actually rushing over because I guess Julian had texted her or something saying I was there. So she headed off, and then they came in with a huge load of rare Sega stuff, and yeah, I snapped a lot of pictures of them for the Instagram feed, and just talked to them for the next about 45 minutes or so.
Oh, so it was a
Um,
quick visit. It was a quick in and out. Was this?
yeah, yeah, kind of. I mean, I didn't want to take up too much of their day,
Of
but
course. You have to work and do what Sega. I mean, I don't know what they do. I mean, I'm not employed there, so I wouldn't know.
yeah,
So I'm sure they're busy though, meetings and stuff.
there were a lot of people walking around. The weirdest one was not weird, but most interesting was there was this guy walking around with these big black T-shirts that said Sega. I think it said Team Sega or something like that. And I don't know if they were shipping and receiving or if they were their tech guys, but I like the idea of them having like a staff with just all black with Sega logos on their T-shirts. It's kind
That's
of neat.
that's pretty cool. I mean, besides the fact that when they go out at lunch, they probably get mocked by the EA crowd, and they're like,
They
"Hey
probably
guys, this is
they
big boy table."
yeah, no one likes EA, so that's okay.
EA's like the jock. They're like, "Yeah, we have about how many games we have coming out?" And then some little guy comes up behind him. He's like 30. He's like, how many Sega games are coming out? 5? Yeah. Can't sit at this table. I'm sorry.
But yeah, overall, it was a really good visit. It was great to meet them since I never really make it out to any conventions on the West Coast. And yeah, so more to come from that. I'm gonna milk those photos for all they're worth, just because
For all the hearts on Instagram.
you know what? I love those hearts.
You wish you could just use them for like trade them for dollars.
Absolutely. Well, it's great. Ever since our visit, I'll post something and it takes about maybe an hour to reach about 100 likes, especially if it's like Sonic related.
Of course, they
Um,
love Sonic.
and it might help that I'm able to. The most fun is geotagging it because I can actually select Sega of America there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but overall it was a really fun visit. It was a small part of my trip, but it was one of the highlights. A few other Sega related things that happened on my trip. I went to this arcade that was located at Fisherman's, what is it called? Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco. It's really cool. It's a huge like warehouse full of classic arcade games, and I don't mean like 80s or 70s. It's like way back, like early 19th century kind of stuff where they're all
Jesus.
mechanical, and so it's like mechanical men who will dance, and then like mechanical horses that will run. There was a execution scene that would play out for you with these little figures getting hung or hanged. I don't know which one's right, but way in the back they actually had, and I'm blanking on the name now. What is that Sega racing game?
Which one? Daytona?
No, no, it's even earlier than that.
Rad Racer?
Earlier than that.
Like how early? Like after before Outrun?
Oh, it was see if, I think it was Monaco GP. That's what it was.
Okay. I mean, I never
Yeah.
played that game, but I mean, I've
Yeah,
heard of it.
Monaco GP from 1979. And it was the whole cabinet where you got inside and sat down, and that was really cool. I mean, it's definitely an old game just because your car's in the dead center and all the gameplay is just trying to avoid the cars coming at you. But there were some cool bits. Like you go into this cave, and you can only see a little bit in front of you. And when you get close to one side of the wall, this yellow line will appear, and it's like supposed to be your headlights appearing on the side of the wall, and it grows bigger as you get closer to the wall. That
That's
was
pretty
kind of
neat.
cool. So yeah, there's that, and then what else Sega related thing happened? Oh, and then I saw, and I talked to Kelly about this actually at Sega. When I was in LA, I saw on Hollywood Boulevard a guy dressed as Sonic, basically, trying to get photos with people, asking for money.
So you asked her, this is an official Sonic representative.
Well,
She,
she met him when they were there, and yeah, she had some weird stories to tell about him. But for me, when I saw him, it was really weird. He was like, "Hey, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, Sega. Oh, let's get some chili dogs." And I was just like, "Oh, this is awful." It was really bad.
so this guy is not licensed by Sega. He does this on his free time.
Yeah.
He goes out and he dresses in a hot ass suit in
Hmm.
LA
Yeah.
and takes photos with children.
And then asked them for money. And then this homeless guy was standing off to the side, and the guy was like, "Hey, fuck you." And then Sonic looked at him and said, "Yeah, fuck you too, fuck you, fuck you." And he started like giving him the finger, and he grabbed his stomach and started like moving it around really weird. And then he was like, "Time to run," and he like ran away.
Wow, is he available for birthday parties?
I hope we can have him on the show, but the
Is that what you want?
as our guest. Yeah,
Yes. You. So what is it going to be, like a drunk podcast where we all get drunk and we talk about the good old days when you could do that and make
yeah,
money?
pretty much. But he was awful. The voice he used, it was literally like, "Hey, I'm Sonic." Oh, and and it was like a mix of like him saying Sega or talking about chili dogs or running really fast. And he did like Ninja Turtle like phrases, totally not Sonic stuff. He'd be like, "Hey, cowabunga, dude! Oh, totally awesome! Oh yeah!"
It's because he wants to have a Ninja Turtle outfit, but he can't afford it. So
Probably.
he just drops the character in with Sonic,
I'd like to think there are four guys who dress up as the turtles, and like they took that from him, and so he's stuck with the Sonic costume.
which is the next best thing apparently from the 90s.
Probably. But yeah, so that was my Sega happenings in California.
Did you get in a fight? Did you get robbed?
No, I didn't lose anything. I didn't get robbed.
Okay.
Trying to think. Oh, I did get robbed. We took the trolley car in San Francisco,
Yeah.
and those things cost way too much money. They are not worth it.
Oh, so that's how you got robbed. You got ripped off.
Yeah, I got ripped off. It's $6 a person, and they like you cram onto it. They take you probably 4 blocks, and then you have to pay $6 in cash. And when you have four people riding it, that adds up. That's what, $24 right there.
Yeah. Like I don't like going to stadiums and buying like drinks either. Like they
It's but
they they want like when I went to LA and we went to the Rose Bowl game thing, they
mhm,
wanted $10 for a beer. No,
that's nonsense.
that is nonsense.
Meanwhile, our cab from Sega to the hotel was $12, and that was like a 15-minute ride. But 4 blocks on a trolley car costs us $6 each.
Yeah.
I don't think locals take that to get around. I think it's all tourists.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah,
they get that extra little buck. We
they
should
got
start a
us.
business like that.
Really,
Rip off. Yeah, we rip off people that are coming to visit.
that sounds good.
We could dress up like Sonic. Hey kids,
Hey, want a chili dog?
I'm Tails. Look at me, I got two tails. You can touch them. Anyway,
We get
that
taken away.
we could take his business away.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Poor guy.
So let's move on to the next bit of news. This is a contest we have going on. Our Summer of Art contest has been extended. The first thing I did when I got back was I decided to make a tweet reminding people that it was going to end in a few days, but I was wrong, and it turns out that it was extended while I was gone.
I
So
don't know. That's all Knuckles' thing.
yeah, so but yeah, he's actually adding prizes to it: Eyes of Bayonetta art book and DVD, Jet Set Radio Future soundtrack, 2 rare E3 exclusive Castle of Illusion pins, and an E3 Castle of Illusion lanyard. And that's in addition to all the other prizes. So
Get on it.
get on it. You have till August 10th, and all the details are on our website. I think we still have one of them in the featured bar. So yeah.
I guess some Shigs is at San Diego Comic Con, and I guess he posted some pictures of him at the Sega arcade booth thing.
Yeah.
And those are pretty cool. Those are interesting. No women this time like the last one. So
That's a shame.
that
It's
is
a bunch of men now in little blue bow ties.
which is maybe not a shame depending on the demographic of our demographic. Like I'm assuming there's some gay men that would be appreciative of that.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, and it looks just kind of like it looks cool for the general public, though it's a lot of the stuff they showed off at E3.
Yeah.
So nothing by way of us getting new previews or anything, unless they want to talk more about what they've already played before.
Yeah, it's just the pictures, I guess. I
Mhm.
guess I'm assuming he went just for the San Diego Comic Con, not just the
Right. Yeah,
event.
he's going to Comic-Con
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
And I like that old man in the first picture staring at the people playing, what is that, Company of Heroes or something?
I think it's a Rome. I think.
Rome, yeah, he's staring at them. I'd like to think he's actually like the founder of Sega who decided to stop by.
Or he's like he used to be in the Roman army back in the olden
I
days.
used to fight in the Rome army.
You're doing it
So,
all wrong, boy.
here, let me show you how to use computers. What's this? Is this a computer? So, yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool. Definitely getting out there. It makes it look like we actually go places, which we do
sometimes
sometimes.
when we're allowed
Sometimes we
to.
leave our houses. Yeah,
Yeah, when
yeah.
we're allowed to.
A lot of news actually today. I think about three or four of these stories are actually from today. Sega 3D Classics was officially announced to be releasing to the 3DS in the US and Europe soon. Before that, we just had a lot of Japanese reveals, and I believe they showed Space Harrier at an event in London. I think it was what, MCM
Something like
Expo,
that. Yeah.
but it was never really like them saying, aside from them saying, yeah, Space Harrier is coming to the UK eventually. It didn't actually, they didn't really make any official announcement, but looks like everything's coming over. Altered Beast, Echo the Dolphin, Galaxy Force 2, which I don't think has been
Now,
revealed yet on the
yeah.
Japanese site. Shinobi 3, Sonic the Hedgehog, Space Harrier, Streets of Rage, and Super Hang On.
Why doesn't Sega like I don't know? I just always assume that like for digital titles they could like talk to the Japanese branch and be like, oh yeah, you're gonna release Super Hang On, all
Mhm.
right, and then kind of release it the same day in
That would have been
America
nice. Yeah,
instead of just like us already knowing like 6 months ago that it was gonna come out and then going, oh finally, okay, thank you.
right.
It doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense. Especially with the fact that we're on the internet now, it's not like it was in the olden days when we were on the Dreamcast where we had to go buy a magazine and then talk about it in the playground or some shit.
yeah, it's interesting. The box titles typically release a lot closer to each other, but then when it comes to the digital ones that release in Japan first, they almost always they take forever to come over here. I don't know why.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, like what do they have to do extra? Like maybe there has something to do with the way Nintendo
Hmm.
approves. Who
Probably
knows?
that. But maybe they were waiting for Japan to release all of them, and then they were just going to send them to Nintendo of America for approval all at once. I don't know. But and which one do you look forward to the most?
Out of those,
Yeah,
hmm, none.
none.
Well, I mean, I don't see myself rebuying them just to play them in 3D. In my opinion,
I could see that. I think from what I've seen, Space Harrier and Hang On have some really cool extra modes, like
I think
ones that
Hang On.
replicate the arcade.
Yeah, Hang On has that little thing where it flips the screen for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's the only thing I've seen. I wouldn't mind those two. Those are probably I like playing AM2 games, so there you go.
Yeah. So let's see what else is coming up next. Nintendo trademarks point towards a new Seaman game. Could Seaman be coming back?
What
Oh,
Nintendo's really going to fucking win over this generation?
oh God, Seaman's gonna. I think if I hadn't bought a 3DS, I'd be buying one right now because Seaman's coming, man.
You could feel it.
It's well, actually,
It's
the
coming.
story is that they registered two trademarks for games called Mysterious Pet, Legend of the Fish with a Human Face, and the other one was Mysterious Partner, which is kind of strange, Legend
Yeah,
of the Fish with a Human Face.
it sounds really sexual, especially in Japan.
So I'm not exactly sure. I mean, we've heard in the past that the developer wanted to release it on 3DS, in that was in 2010, 2011. There were some things. 2012, I think they said again that they wanted Seaman. Nintendo said they wanted Seaman, and
Why don't you just call it Seaman and then like in the bottom it should just have a 3DS and a little fish, and then it says in the bottom it's coming, and it's spelled Cumming.
that seems more like 90s Sega marketing to me.
That's what I'm saying, edgy.
But what's interesting is that I mean, it sounds like it's obviously going to be like Seaman, but I gotta. Does Sega own the trademark to Seaman? Is it?
I would hope so. I mean, because I
I
mean,
feel like they do.
yeah, because they did another game where it was like the sequel, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't
Seaman
published.
2.
Yeah, but it wasn't even called Seaman 2, though, was it?
It was, but I think Sega was attached to it.
Man,
That's
I even forgot
interesting.
about the game. All I remember was it was like a fucking like early human, and you're supposed to like teach it how to do fire and shit.
All right, here it is. It released to the PlayStation 2, but it was still published by Sega. So what I'm thinking is this is probably going to be kind of like a Child of Eden situation where the game is very much what is the term they use now? Spiritual successor.
Yes,
Which
notice how Sega has a lot of those people doing that now.
we could probably make a website devoted to spiritual successors.
Yeah, like Child of Eden. What was the other one?
Crimson
Crimson
Dragon,
Dragon.
and now we got Magical Fish, the man with the who loves you a whole bunch or whatever it's called.
Isn't Treasure trying to do? Oh, actually, those games weren't really published by Sega, but Treasure's also doing their shooters and other
Hmm.
platforms. I mean, they've been trying to get one with Microsoft, but that never went through.
True.
But yeah, it seems like every day there'll be like a new studio that's like, yeah, we got these ex Sega employees and they're gonna make a game for us, and everybody gets all hyped on the internet, and then it comes out like Children of Eden and it didn't really sell that well.
Oh, Echo also they wanted to
Yeah,
do that blue
Big
Big
Blue,
Blue, yeah.
which didn't do
But
that great, especially for what they wanted. I mean,
it
they wanted
didn't
a
sell.
million.
It didn't meet their goal, yeah. Yeah, but with this I could go either way. I think with Seaman, especially the English version, a lot of the charm comes from the voice and the face. And if they make a game that's a spiritual successor where it's a different face and a different voice, I don't think it's going to be as it's not going to be the same, obviously, especially with the with the name behind it. And to be honest, I mean, the game was great at the time, and I still enjoy going and playing it. But I don't know if I can see a modern day game recapturing that or being as awesome as it was then. Because it's with Siri nowadays, it's kind of like old tech.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe they could use a new tech and they could have all these like new options. I mean, it could work. I mean, it just has to be done in the right way.
I feel like it's going to be an eShop game too.
That's not that bad. I mean,
That'd be cool because then it would always be on your 3DS.
that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would be cool if it like when you go to new locations, it learns new things because like the 3DS is all about going out. I guess they're trying to do the whole street pass.
That actually would be really cool. It would be like, oh, I see we're traveling.
Yeah, and like you go to San Francisco and it's like you get little items for your fish. I guess
And then
in
he'd
San
be like,
Francisco,
I
like,
see you're traveling a long distance. Is your wife with you? And you go, no. And he goes, oh.
and then he just winks at you on
Like,
the screen.
I I absolutely loved in that game when you'd say something and then he'd just be like, oh, really? And then he'd smile.
That's what brought. That's what brought. That's what made you tear up.
Yeah, he's a little pervert. I like him. So
You lay down at night, you go to sleep, and then you turn on the game, and it just smiles at you. You turn off the TV, and you just smile, and then go to sleep.
I remember if you say to him, you're like, "Good night, Seaman." He's like, "Oh, good night," and then you go, "I love you," and he goes, "I love you too," and then he smiles.
So weird.
I know. But I mean, it's really, I think a lot of it's in the voice. And I've seen videos of the Japanese Seaman. It's not, I mean, obviously I don't speak Japanese, but I don't know. It's not the same.
I could see the game doing pretty decent as a PSN title. I don't know why, or like an Xbox Live Arcade game.
Yeah, I could
Because,
see that.
because it's like I've noticed that Sony releases some stupid games for like $5, and it's
Hmm.
like, ooh, this is like a rhythm game, but it's like you play it and there's like it's just like an interactive storybook,
That's
and people are
true.
all like, oh, it's so artistic and great. Nothing more artistic than a fucking fish with a fucking human face on it smiling at you. Nothing.
I liked that when it was on the console, like on the Dreamcast, it was like having the bowl at your house, so you had to get back home to feed him. It's like having a real pet. With if you were traveling around with him, I think it might be too easy.
Oh, so
Um,
you're saying it's cheating?
it might be because you can't bring your pet with you everywhere
Oh
in
well,
real
man, I
life.
do it anyway. I don't care.
You bring your dog with you
Everywhere.
everywhere.
So
You
you're
sound
gonna
like a ninja
everywhere.
everywhere.
Um,
Come, let's go.
well, they could. I mean, I'm saying like it would be pretty cool. Like getting items from different spots and stuff. Like Nintendo could even do little like promotions where you get exclusive items for going to their little like premiere on a store or some stupid shit.
Actually, Animal Crossing's doing that right now with Best Buy.
See, there you go.
If you take your 3DS to a Best Buy and go to the mail room, there will be exclusive prizes waiting for you.
Oh, I'm gonna go do that. But anyway, right now I'm gonna leave. Right now, I gotta go.
Take your dog.
I don't want to go to Best Buy, man. I hate that place.
Yeah.
You love Best Buy, don't you?
Yeah, it's all right. I don't buy things there. I don't buy things there too often, but I love walking around.
Yeah, I like going there to see stuff, but man, everything's so expensive, dude. It's like no wonder you guys are going to go out of business.
I call it the place where I go with my iPhone and scan items to see how much they cost on Amazon.
You're like, oh my, this mouse is really nice. I better just buy it on Amazon in 2 days ship to my house.
I've done that.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Let's see. Next, should we do the next news item?
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
All right. New Sonic Lost World trailer reveals color powers, the release date, and some screens also appeared revealing a casino night zone.
Kind of like a SKU level, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about this game. It's looking terrible.
You hate it?
No, I'm not. I don't hate it, but somebody has to be negative about the game. Everybody's so
That's
goddamn
true.
positive.
What I think so interesting about it is like when you had the past games, you'd be like, all right, let's learn what the 6 zones are. But with this one, it's a lot, there's a lot more variety, which I think is great. But at the same time, it's like they vary it so much between stages that you're looking at one that's called like Desert Ruin, but it looks like a bunch of candy. You know what I mean? And so like in the future, when we're talking back, it would be like, God, you know what stage I loved? What? Desert Ruin. Oh, with the pyramids and stuff? No, man, the one with the candy.
The candy level. I love candy.
Candy
Dude.
one. Why is that called Desert Ruin? Well, it's the same zone, but it's different acts. They just look completely different.
That is kind of confusing, but I mean,
for all we know, Casino Night Zone could be like a forest.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the idea that it changes so dramatically because I think that was one of my. I think a lot of people's like. They should have just made them zones themselves, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because like, wasn't that one of the biggest issues that like Sonic games felt short because they didn't want to make all the assets to create all these levels, but now they're doing it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just making you fast forward through them, I mean, same amount of like a length. So like Zone 1, Zone 2, and they could have just made a level where it's all candy. And then made 2 zones out of it, and then did a boss, and then did another one where it was just the pyramids.
Right. I mean, I'm hoping that it'll be like with Sonic Colors, where there were actually like 7 acts per stage.
Whereas
6 or 7, like little ones, you know?
Yeah.
So you'd have like the 3 very different environments within the zone, but then you would have maybe 2 of those would be for the candy, and 2 would be like for the desert, and then 2 would be for inside the temple, like something like that. But
I wouldn't mind if they had extra where you're like you could just progress through the story by just playing them like fast, but then, like you could play a remix level of it, and they would like get harder and harder, and you unlock, I guess, whatever you unlock with it.
Mm-hmm. That would be cool. What do you think of the color powers?
The color powers, I haven't really seen much of it, but well, a lot of them are repeated from Colors, right?
Yeah,
except for the indigo one.
There's 3 that look like they're repeated. One of them's actually that one where he's like an asteroid and he's like floating around and everything's sucking in.
Yeah.
That was from the DS one, but it was a different one. It was called Void.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I really like the new ones. There's Eagle, which looks like it's Nights into Dreams from behind, you know?
Yeah.
And then the rhythm one, which is like a little music note, which is kind of cool. It reminds me of in Mario 3D Land when you get the music notes and it's like bump, 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 bump.
We can't compare Mario and Sonic anymore, man.
I know. Well, they're the same. Aren't they the same characters?
They're owned by Nintendo, I think, right?
Yeah. Well, Nintendo makes all the Sonic games now.
Yeah. It's
pretty
the
much.
best. That's why this one is looking good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what
Miyamoto's really done well this time.
I'm glad Nintendo took over the Sonic franchise.
Don't say these things; people will hate us.
I know.
Yeah, so overall it's looking good. I feel like there's a lot more that they're going to reveal, but I'm hoping they keep a lot of it under wraps because I feel like the last few games I've bought them and I've already seen half the game.
Yeah, and like the only things they didn't really show you was the stuff that was not the best in that game, like Sonic Generation. They didn't really show you the last boss that much. And then when
Hmm.
you played, you're like, wow, that was the most terrible fucking point of that game.
Yeah.
I feel like the way that Sonic Teams creates games, they start at the beginning,
Hmm.
and like they progress, like the way you're playing the game, that's how they progress through development. So
Right.
it's like really polished in the beginning, and then when you get to the end, it's like all falling apart because they only have a week to program the last boss,
Right. It's probably how it is.
and they do it in a lunch break.
It's exactly like that.
But that's how it feels like to me. But yeah, want to talk about THQ owing money?
Yeah, they owe me money.
They owe everybody money now. Apparently, they
Yeah.
owe over like $200 million or some shit.
Jeez. Well, to Sega they owe what is it, $941,000 for Company of Heroes 2 pre-orders.
So I guess that's cool. I mean, it's not. I mean, that's like a fucking a drop in the bucket for them, I guess, right now for how much they owe.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
So
like,
what does this mean? People they were pre-selling the game, people pre-ordered it, and then Sega bought the property.
yeah, pretty much. They've been. It was supposed to be Steam pre-orders from September to like December. So they got 22,000 pre-orders or something like that in Steam. And
Wow.
Sega thinks that they should be getting that money because it's their property now, which makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
So they bought the freaking company for what, $26 million. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's really like $25 million now.
Jeez.
I'm assuming the company's gonna make its money back pretty quick for Sega. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if they put 22,000 pre-orders online, like way months and months before the game was even almost coming out, that's pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
And rumors have it they've been working on Dawn of War 3, which is another big moneymaker by them, the Warhammer franchise.
Oh, right.
It was
Uh-huh.
supposed to be announced this year, but obviously THQ went out of business. But
Interesting.
and Sega owns I mean, they license the Warhammer license right now.
The Warhammer or is it Warhammer 40K?
40K. I don't know. I think they're doing both universes, the 40K and the Warhammer. They're different universes. Warhammer is like medieval, more Lord of the Rings type, and 40K is like futuristic.
Right.
Yeah, with space marines and stuff.
Of
So
course. Why wouldn't it be?
yeah, so Relic does the 40K stuff.
Okay.
It would be pretty cool if they have two going on, where like Warhammer, the original franchise, like the medieval stuff, is done by Creative Assembly, and the futuristic stuff is done by Relic. That'd be pretty cool.
Or they do like a ultimate crossover all-stars game where it's Sega Battle.
Sonic opens up the world wormhole, and then the two universes collide.
It would be Sonic on Sonic's army and Alex Kidd's army, and they would collide. It would be the 70s and 80s games versus the 90s and 2000s.
Oh man, don't even say that. There's already gonna be a fan fiction that's gonna be emailed to us about this in detail.
Oh yeah, it's going to be about a 10,000 page epic.
I can't wait. We can make it into a comic book series. We could pitch
Hi
it to Archie.
guys. Hi guys, I hear podcast. Here is my write-up, and it would just be email after email.
Fuck yes. I probably wouldn't read them. I just delete them. But
That's nice.
and then there's, I guess, it's Sonic All Stars Racing Transform on PC got a Company of Heroes 2 DLC for free.
That's pretty crazy.
It's pretty funny that it came out on July 4th, and you play as General Winters,
Uh-huh.
who's the most generic name in the world, and
Right.
he's a Russian general. So when you do your little power up move, it's like a sickle and a what is the other one?
Oh, hammer and sickle, yeah.
Yeah, the hammer and sickle, and then like it's a little big ass communism stuff going on. And I'm like, well, that's a good way to celebrate 4th of July.
Absolutely. That's
So
funny.
that's pretty cool. A lot of people are complaining that it's not coming out of consoles. I don't know what that's all about, but
Well, yeah, they I guess they've kind of made this decision to give the PC their exclusives and not bring them over to consoles. I guess just because the PC platform, it's a lot easier to
Update.
do such things and update. Yeah, but I mean, it is a shame now that there are three exclusives for the console.
I think the finger should be pointed at companies like Sony and Microsoft that charge so much money to be adding content that
Yeah,
it probably won't be worth it for for somebody like Sumo.
yeah.
But I heard
And
I heard Microsoft isn't going to charge anymore to update games.
no, that's interesting.
There was like this big article that after the Xbox One comes out, it's going to be free or whatever to update your games. So
That's good.
that'd be pretty cool if they updated with more Microsoft, I guess, SQ franchises.
Hmm.
Maybe something like I don't know. Maybe they could add the little Viking from Viking Battle of Asgard.
I like Viking,
He
but
could, but then people are gonna get mad that it's not the Golden Axe.
well, I gotta wonder how much time and money it does cost because I was watching videos of this guy, and it's just three vehicles. There's no actual transformation. He just kind of stands there doing little moves. It's not doesn't look like it was that much of an intensive process. Maybe it was. Maybe I'm wrong. But plus, I bet some of that money came from Company of Heroes 2 advertising budget.
Oh, I'm sure. Because if you notice, all the games they put on there is actually them advertising it. Something else, like one of them would be Valve games. I'm assuming Valve just
Yeah.
put up stuff for that because I've noticed they do that for a lot of games. They'll like do an update where there'll be Team Fortress stuff, and then
Hmm.
people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy it. This Surgeon game it sounds awesome,"
Right.
and
Yeah.
it won't even be that great of a tie-in. It would be like, "Oh, you get it's like a puzzle like level or something with like pictures of the people from Team Fortress." So it's kind of weird, but whatever makes the game sell more. I think it was all part of the whole. They let you play for free during the weekend,
Hmm.
and then it was like half off. It was like $7.50,
Nice.
and then the update was the new character. So that's pretty decent.
Huh. Well, I mean, I always thought it's a good idea. Like, a lot of people look at Company of Heroes and Total War and Football Manager, and they're like, "Oh, those aren't Sega games." But I mean, they are. They're just as much Sega games as Echo the Dolphin, if not more so than Echo the Dolphin, Toe Jam and Earl, because these are produced in house. It's
And
not just
Sega
it's
doesn't
not
even
just
own.
Sega owning it's not
Yeah,
just Sega owning the trademark. It's Sega actually making the games. These
yeah,
people are Sega on the Sega payroll. It's not like these studios are coming to them saying, "Can we make a Football Manager game?" You know.
yeah.
But I think it's a cool idea to bring them under the All Star banner, and if anything, it makes the game even quirkier. Because one of my favorite, fighting games in the Saturn era was Fighters Megamix, and what I liked so much about it was that they would just cram in the craziest things, like
Daytona car.
the Daytona car and the AM2 Palm Tree.
They're like palm tree, and they're like brilliant. Like I already imagine them like at lunch.
Yeah,
They have to like not pay for the lunch and just run out of the building. We gotta go pitch this right now.
pretty much.
The
So
palm
yeah,
tree.
I like that they do these things. The only complaint I have is that I wish they'd bring them to consoles because then it would give. I think it might give console gamers more of a reason
To
to
care
check
about
out.
those franchises.
Yeah, like they're over there on the PCs. They're not on our console games. But the argument is that, well, since Company of Heroes and those games aren't on consoles, why should they put them as DLC on the consoles? But my argument is there's a lot of characters in All Stars Racing who don't even have games on current gen consoles. So, like for
That's true.
example, Shinobi, aside from maybe one Genesis title for $3, he's not a current gen character. He's on 3DS right now at most.
What they could do is they could always like I don't know, maybe put Titus from Space Marine. I mean, Sega already owns the publishing rights to that game,
That's true.
and they could do that for the console versions, and then put the game on digital sell or something for like
Hmm.
$10, and there you sold two games at once. Well, you
Well,
sold the game.
I think the most interesting thing with this recent DLC is it shows that they're not done releasing things. At least not. At least this is the most recent thing they've released, so it wouldn't be crazy to see like Ryo Hazuki or more likely Hatsune Miku release alongside the game this fall.
That's true, but Sega really needs to get that All Star stuff checked. Like Did the last one, Transform, even come out in Japan?
I don't. I think the developer said it was going to, but it hasn't yet.
Cause man, that's some. I think that's kind of bullshit. Like, I think that's a waste of a market. Like, I'm surprised Sega Japan doesn't believe it anymore. Like, especially since the games they're announcing aren't that great in my opinion. Like that
Hmm.
that new one they have teasing projects 575 just
Yeah.
looks like another Hatsune Miku game, and that's already boring the shit out of me.
Right.
Which I guess we'll talk about later, right?
Yeah. Well, probably in like 5 minutes.
Right.
Should we move into some new games coming out?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Looks like they're new games, but we're probably not going to be playing them for a while, if at all. But the first trailer for Hero Bank has released. What do you think, having seen the game in action, at least some of it in action?
It looks like what I kind of expected. It reminds me kind of like early 2000, not early 2000s, but like early this DS generation RPG that like Sega would release. Like what's that one they released? Dino Hunter. They tried to make it into a big franchise, and I
Hmm.
think they even had an American cartoon, but the game never made it over here. And it was supposed
Right.
to be kind of like Pokemon. That's kind of what it reminds me they're trying to do again.
Hmm.
But I don't think it's going to be a success because it kind of looks a little like it looks like something I might have been into like when I was a kid, like Dreamcast
Right.
era. Like, oh hell yeah, this and this is better than Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever.
Hmm.
But definitely not what I'm looking forward to from that team, especially uh, the guy from Yakuza. I mean, is behind it. That's kind
Right.
of weird.
I think it's kind of cool they have all that animation and the quirky characters, but looking at it, it does look a little simplistic, and it's got that whole like digital collection master fighter, kind of thing that
It
just
kind
doesn't
of
seem very original.
reminds me of that reboot from Mega Man
Right.
where you played as a
Battle
kid.
Network.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't like
Yeah.
that.
It reminds me, that's exactly what it reminds me of. But I don't know. Who knows? It might be fun. From looking at it, though, it looks like it kind of reminds me of Rhythm Thief, just in the way you move around and talk to people. But unlike Rhythm Thief, it looks like it just is kind of like battle fighting, generic kind of Japanese stuff. I don't know.
It's basically the man. I'm sure it'll do good here. It's all about getting money, man. It's all about robbing banks.
Man, we need that. It's what we need.
Put a nice rap soundtrack behind it in America. Sell it. That doesn't look like anybody that would listen to rap.
They just
Sell it
have
to
a bunch of
Call of Duty crowd.
rappers do all the voices.
That would work.
I'd buy it. Call it Rapper Bank.
Rap a bank.
Rob a bank.
There you go.
There
Robbing
we
bank.
go. So that's coming out soon. Um, let's see, what's the next thing? Project Diva F second announced for PS Vita and PS3. They're
Like
making PS Vita games still?
there's a PS Vita. Where the hell is
I,
that? I never
what
heard.
is that like a
Notice how it's not
3DS?
exclusive. Notice how it's not exclusive. Sega's like that's suicide.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, PS Vita and they're still making games for it. I don't know what to say about this game. I'm not really excited for it that much. I mean, we're barely going to get the first one in America,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of hard for me to even care about the first one now that the second one's coming. I don't understand Sega's marketing genius right here going on, but
Right.
that's cool, I guess. Are they going to release the second one too?
I don't know.
There you go.
So here, what is the Hatsune Miku like gameplay? What is it exactly?
It's a rhythm game.
Okay. So
So
I'm looking at it like the little shapes fly around the screen, but it doesn't matter where they're flying, right?
I don't think it matters now.
It's just you follow your eyes, so you're like X X X X
Yeah,
X X X X X O O O.
yeah. There you go.
Okay. That's
Are
not
you
too original.
Yeah, it's not that original, but it has cute little girls and shit, I guess, and like you get a like I don't know,
I
play
guess
some music. They're
the
hard to
best
tell though.
yeah, that's true. I mean, the best thing I've seen from them is when they do like classic Sega remixes and they recreate levels in 3D. There was what was that? Power Drift.
Yeah,
That old that had appeared recently, which was a pretty cool thing. But Yeah. It's another Miku game.
Yay, I guess. If they
Yay!
buy
I
it.
wish it was. I wish it was Space Channel 5.
Really, I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised Sega's like, let's put all this money and effort and marketing to a fucking franchise. But like, okay, Hatsune Miku is not owned by Sega.
That's true.
It's owned by some dude. I don't know who the fuck the dude is. Probably some pervert. But
God,
I'm just keeping it real.
that's true.
And so he's getting all this money from Sega's hard work of making the games. Sega should just like slowly start putting in, Space Channel 5, Ooh La La in it, and like the characters, and then slowly start building up like a fan base in his fucking fan base. Like, yeah, you like this shit? Check this bitch out, and then like she'll
Yeah.
come out and start going well, choo choo choo, and
Hmm.
that's it. And then they could just start doing Ooh La La games. Fuck, man, I don't want to. I guess I would make me a little happier, but honestly, I
It
don't
would
see
make
it happen.
it would make D-Light pretty angry though,
Oh yeah, I don't want her to attack us on Twitter again.
Mr. Sega guy.
Yeah, fucking. She's number one around the world. What the fuck do we know?
Yeah, we're nobodies.
Exactly.
Let's see. Final new game. Sega Amusements released a very short teaser trailer for Transformers Arcade. It looks cool from what I've heard.
They literally put like 10 seconds of footage all chopped up.
Yeah. It looks like a light gun game though. It looks like the robots are fighting, and while they're fighting, you shoot the bad robot.
I could
And then
see that. I could see that. It's a licensed game. They're just releasing it so people, I guess, could play it. I guess that like walking by, they're like, "Oh, I like that Transformers movie. Michael Bay's a brilliant director."
Someone was saying that it's developed by out of China, Sega's Chinese division,
Uh,
who
that,
did Golden Gun, I think it was called,
hmm.
which was like House of the Dead with like in Egypt or something like that.
Never
But
played it, but
I'm all for more light gun games. Someone also compared it to like Rambo, Sega's Rambo game,
yeah, I remember that one.
and Lost World.
Say, I wish Sega would bring more of their arcade games over here. There's a
Hmm.
YouTube channel. I don't know the YouTube channel off the top of my head, but this guy has like 720p, like perfect, like
Hmm.
videos of just latest Sega arcade games. Like,
I've seen that. That's really cool.
yeah, and I'm like, I want to play this in my house. I don't want to be watching it on YouTube.
Yeah,
But I guess we're never gonna get them. So
we
just
can
sigh.
we can dream.
I wish Sega would make a this is gonna piss you off. A Pacific Rim video game.
Why would that piss me off?
I don't know. I don't think you like Pacific Rim. Do you like Pacific Rim?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't
I
seen
bet it
it
would.
either. I haven't
I bet
seen
it
it
would make a
either.
good video game.
Dude, it's just a bunch of monsters and fucking robots punching each other in a big ass city, dude. Nothing gets better than that.
It looks like a video game.
Yeah, it does look like a video game. When I was watching the trailer, I was like, I have to watch this movie because that movie looks like everything I want to watch.
Are they done making games based off of movies? Because I feel like this summer I have not seen like the Man of Steel game,
Yeah, I know,
Iron
me
Man
too.
3 the game,
But then
Pacific
again,
Rim the game.
yeah, I'm surprised too. But I'm thinking they're to the point where like anything. When's the last time you played a good Superman game?
That's true.
Like
Never.
never. Like now you're gonna put Man in Steel, you're just gonna drag down the reception of the movie. Now that everybody hates it.
I think if they made an open world Metropolis and it was kind of like the Spider-Man games, remember those where it was like
Yeah,
all open world, and you go around and you just destroy shit.
you just destroy people. You just like punch people. Get
That
out of
would
my
be a
way! I'm
good game.
Superman.
I don't want a plot or anything. I just want to fly around and destroy things.
I think the problem with that would be that like Superman is way too overpowering, and like people want to fly, and then you have to get a flying mechanic that feels good. It's
Right.
just too hard.
What's the point?
Yeah, what is the point? Just buy the Batman game
Yeah, Batman's a lot better.
because it's a lot simpler. He's grounded in like simple mechanics. He can't fly. Just
Can
works out.
glide.
He can glide, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually surprised there hasn't been that many summer games like
Hasn't been
licensed.
I don't think there's been any. I can't think of any major ones.
I'm trying to think of one, and I can't even think of one. I'm surprised they didn't make a World War Z game.
That's true. Yeah.
That
See,
would have
there's
been
another
easy.
movie that
That
would
would
have
have
been.
been so easy. Just
Yeah.
copy Call of Duty zombie fucking thing and just make it into a game.
That's the official title, I think, too. Call of Duty fucking zombie thing.
It's a World War Z version. You just play as Brad Pitt and the other girl.
Yeah. Well,
Skins.
at the very least, what you're seeing now is like DLC. Like they had the Man of Steel costume in what is it? Injustice, right?
Yeah, I think Warner Brothers is going a different direction with the way they license their video games,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is more positive. Like, I think the last one they did that was a bad license game was like Green Lantern, that the Rise of the Manhunters or whatever,
Oh, right.
and nobody cared about it and they didn't really advertise it. But I think putting their money into like a more quality title, like Injustice, or the Batman games, and just doing DLC to promote the new movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a smarter idea, I think.
Yeah. So no Pacific Rim game.
Sorry, I guess maybe Sega will pick up the license and ruin it.
That's nice.
I'm trying to be positive here.
That's you being positive.
Yeah, it's me being positive. Maybe you could run on the Iron Man 2 engine.
Yeah, there we go. That sounds great.
Um, I think that's it for today, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Anything you want to add before we take off?
Well, let's see. What are we looking forward to in the future?
What am I
Not
looking
much.
to in the
It's a quiet summer.
Dude, it's a quiet year for Sega in general, to be honest.
Yeah. Is when did Company of Heroes 2 release?
June 25th, I think.
Okay, and then Total War's coming up, right?
September 3rd.
Okay, and then before then it's
Um,
Mickey. I think Mickey's releasing this summer.
yeah, sometime this summer.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it.
And then we got the Sonic Lost World, and that's it.
Yeah.
This year.
Wow.
That
It's
is
been a
kind of
quiet.
Yeah, it is kind of quiet.
No Dreamcast re-releases so
I'm
far.
surprised. Maybe they
Me
didn't do that
too.
well.
Maybe. We'll
Man,
have to wait and see, I guess. I didn't see any Shenmue HD collection posters hanging around Sega, so
did you ask?
I asked every second and they kicked me out and they said, "Please do not contact us ever again."
Did you ask him about Phantasy Star Online 2?
I did not.
You should just said, "Is Phantasy Star Online 2 coming out?" And they said, "Yeah, it's delayed."
Yeah,
And
well,
then you wait 5 seconds. Is it out yet? And
Is
then,
it out now?
how about now?
How about now?
Can I play it?
I did ask, where is Aaron?
Oh, and where was he?
He was in Minneapolis meeting with what is it, Game Informer? There's some game magazine out there.
Oh,
So yeah,
so
he wasn't there.
they took him.
Yeah,
They put him
took
in
him
a
away.
box. And they shipped him in the shipping receiving section.
That's how Aaron gets around.
He's like, "Get in the box." I don't want to.
Crates with holes in them.
They're like every other company would just give me a first class seat or something. You guys put me in a box.
Get in there.
We only have 5 games coming out this year. Come on, we don't have that much money. Anyway,
Nice image to end on.
I know Sega's never gonna invite you ever to their.
Me, it's you. You're the one that said it.
I'm just gonna, and if I ever want to go to Sega, I'm just telling them I write for IGN or something.
They'd kick you out.
Probably. I'm Jim Sterling. That's what I tell them right away.
Jeez, I'd kick myself out if I was him. Well, I guess it's kind of hard to kick a guy that big out, you know.
What would you don't be? Jim Sterling's a nice guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I mean, if he didn't have an opinion.
True.
I actually enjoy some of his videos, oddly enough.
I think it's the accent.
I think the accent's what makes it okay.
Well, okay, that's the one that bothers me when he's like,
"Really?
I just want to talk about this game coming out. It looks awful." You know, he's like that.
Oh, he did his no, I think what I like is his poetry jam thing, because I like poetry, even though I think he could do a little bit better. But he did this one about where he talks about people giving him shit for reviewing games, He
Uh-huh.
talks about how he still thinks it's just that he gave Vanquish a 6, but he hears about it every day. How about he's an idiot? And I like the fact that he like at least sticks to it. But I think some of the stuff he hated about that game, if you read his review, was
Hmm.
off. Like he didn't like the fact that you were penalized for covering,
Hmm.
using the covering mechanics. So he was playing the games all wrong, and then he gave it a bad score. And it's like me playing like knights and then trying to hop on things. Oh, I can't jump on these things. Well, this game sucks. So I don't know.
That's a
Anyway, enough about Jim
weird
Sterling.
argument.
He doesn't deserve this much attention.
He doesn't. But we love him.
No, I don't know about that, but not sexually at least.
No, no, no. Well, unless you are.
I'm a little bit, but I think this is that's all we have to talk about this week, right?
Yeah, that's good. I'm good.
I'm good. We're good.
We're good.
Okay, bye.
Bye.